Hey Aries, welcome to your this time bi-weekly forecast. This is, instead of a weekly forecast, going to be for the next couple of weeks, February 1st through the 13th. I'm a little behind on posting, so we're going to cover a longer period of time, and hopefully this will get me caught up and posting a little bit ahead again. So we're going to see what's coming up for Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising. We do have new moon energy that has come in February 1st. The new moon in Aquarius. This is going to be a new moon that is bringing in the desire for a clean slate, a fresh start, authenticity, all that good stuff. We're going to see how these energies are impacting the Aries collective and what messages are coming in from Spirit for Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising. One more shuffle and we'll get right on into it, my dears. Okay. So the first card coming up here is the Chariot, and this is a major arcana card. So, very fitting as we're coming into this new energy. Major arcana cards are going to come up anytime that we're coming into a new chapter, or this is a really significant crossroads or turning point in our life. The situations that we're dealing with are directly connected with what we came here to accomplish, what we came here to master. And as I said, we have this new moon in Aquarius that's bringing in this desire for a fresh, clean slate, and embracing authenticity. And the Chariot is about movement. It can even be about physical travel. So in this fresh start, in this clean slate, some of you might be wanting to go somewhere and start all over again. You might be like wanting to put distance between yourself and certain people or certain places. It might not be enough for you to clean house, so to speak, right? Or like go through your social media friends list and unfriend people and like distance yourself from certain people. That might not feel like enough for some of you. Some of you might be wanting to actually put physical distance between yourself and certain people, places, and things. The Chariot card has a sense of like wanting to get to safety. One of the key words of this card is sanctuary city, which back in the day, sanctuary cities were places where you could go to start over. Like say you had people that were after you, or even you may have broken a law or something. Back then, there were certain cities that if you got to that city, they couldn't touch you. They couldn't extradite you. They couldn't come for you. They had to leave you alone. And as long as you were a good person, a good citizen in your time there, after a few years, you could stay there, you could go back to home, wherever that was, or wherever, and everything is in the past, right? They had to just like let it go. The statutes had run out, so to speak. So some of you might be feeling in this way, like you're wanting to get away, getting to a safe place and starting over. The Chariot is also a card of decisiveness. Okay, so some of you are like, Spirit, tell me what you want me to do. I want this fresh start. I want this new beginning. Tell me which door to go down. Open the door you want me to go down. And Spirit is saying, Aries, 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 Aries. In this instance, right now in this time of your life, it's not about what we want you to do. It's not about what the universe wants you to do. This is a time for you to exercise your free will. This is a lesson for you that you have free will and you get to make this decision. So we can't open the door for you until you tell us which door to open. We can't choose the door. We can help you open the door, but Aries, you have to choose the door. We can't choose the door for you. So there's a lesson here for you right now in decisiveness and using your free will. I've said this in other videos. The Chariot card always makes me think of the quote by Ralph Waldo Emerson when he said, once we make a decision, the universe conspires to make it happen, right? Once we make a decision, the universe conspires to make it happen. So your angels and guides are here to help you and support you on your journey, but you have to do the steering. You have to choose the road. You have to choose the path, and they'll help you down that road. They'll help you down that path. So whatever this clean slate is going to be, whatever this new beginning is going to be, Aries, the world is your oyster. It is up to you. You choose and you decide. The next card that's coming up here for you guys is the Seven of Pentacles. Now, see how we have this new moon here? Spirit is saying that in this time, in this new moon energy, you're going to be busy. You're going to get to work. You are planting some really big seeds right now. You're doing some really big planting work, I guess we'll say energetically. And the Seven of Pentacles says you're going to have an abundant harvest. This is going to go well for you. Your hard work is going to pay off. But this is also something that you have to give it time. You have to let the law of physics and time do its thing. You planted the seed. You watered the seed. You will tend to it. You will make sure that it's got the proper conditions and has what it needs. But you have to let nature do the rest. You have to give time for it to germinate, to sprout, to grow. So sometimes the Seven of Pentacles comes in to tell us to kind of check our expectations here, right? This is not going to be like a rapid fire situation. It doesn't mean it's going to take years and years and years. It's just not going to be an instantaneous situation. Sometimes Seven of Pentacles comes up for me in my readings when the person I'm reading for might be making some investments. Maybe you're looking into like financial investing or investing in different kinds of businesses or stocks or accounts, or maybe you're taking some money and you're investing it into a business idea or business venture. And Seven of Pentacles comes up in my readings to say that it's going to take a while for the profit to come in. It's going to take a while for you to have the return. It will be a good return. It will definitely be worth your while, but it's going to take some time for it to come in. So knowing that, invest conservatively, right? Knowing that, don't break the bank. Don't put in more than what you can deal not having for a while. Don't give more than what you can handle to go without for a while, right? If you have $100 in the bank, and some of you are saying, I wish I had $100 in the bank, but I would just give an example. If you had $100 in the bank, and you might say, okay, well, I've got $100, I'm going to put $100 in. Wait a minute. Until your next check comes in, is that going to cover everything that you need? Are you going to be $100 short when rent is due? Or are you going to be $90 short because rent is due and you put in that 100 and you didn't get it back yet? So then maybe in that case, maybe you can only put in $10, not the 100. You have to ask yourself, if I don't get this back right away, am I going to be okay? And some of you literally have been wondering, how much should I invest? How much should I put down? How much should I invest? And your answer is right here. Your answer is however much you can be okay without. And don't judge it. Don't see it as, oh my gosh, that's not that much money, or I wanted to put in more, it's not going to be worth it. The squirrel doesn't think that every time it takes an acorn and stashes it away in the tree. It doesn't say, what am I going to do with one acorn? Because they add up. Little by little, they add up. And when winter comes up, that squirrel is a happy little camper. That squirrel is living a nice, comfortable life with plenty in its storage. So don't turn your nose up at it and don't be like, oh, it's not enough, because it's going to add up. Okay? But as I said, this might be a time for you to invest and put money down conservatively. The next card that's coming up here for you, Aries, is the Queen of Wands. Beautiful energy here. This is you. This is you, Aries. This is the beautiful, fiery energy of the Queen of Wands. Now, the Queen of Wands, in terms of characteristics, she's very ambitious. She's very determined. She's very driven. She's very independent. She's very funny. She's the life of the party. She's very charismatic. She's beautiful, attractive, very alluring, draws people in, and creative and successful. There's even an entrepreneurial spirit about the Queen of Wands. And some of you have heard me say this. In my readings, the Queen of Wands tends to come up for you when you're starting to wake up and you're realizing how much you bring to the table. You're realizing how much people benefit from having you around. You're realizing how much your employers benefit from having you work for them. Some of you are sitting back and you're adding it up and you're going, whoa, I made my company a lot of money last year. Or I made my company a lot of money the last couple of weeks. Like, you're realizing how much you're doing for them and how little you're getting back in return. And so the Queen of Wands might try to speak up and say, hey, I have an idea. This process, this system is really hard, and it'd be a lot easier if we changed it and tweaked it and did it this way or that way, right? Because you might be really overworked. And they're like, oh, no, that's the way we've always done it. It's fine. Just keep doing it that way. They don't take into consideration what might be easier for you. Or you might want a raise or a promotion. Oh my gosh. Oh, Aries, I really wish I could. Man, I wish I could. Oh my gosh, please don't leave us. I don't know what I would do without you. This place would fall apart without you. And they might try to stroke your ego, but they don't give you anything substantial. They don't give you anything that's going to sustain you. They don't give you any kind of help or support. They just want you to keep working and keep laying those golden eggs. And they don't give you fair or proper reimbursement. So the Queen of Wands finally gets to the point where she's tired of, oh no, it's okay, it's fine, just keep doing it. She's tired of hearing that. She's tired of not being appreciated. She's tired of having her ego stroked. She wants fair compensation. She knows what she deserves. So she puts her mind to it that she's going to go and she's going to get that. And she's not going to rest until she gets that. She's so angry, so determined, so driven that she sets out for more. And she achieves it very quickly. So in terms of something like getting a business off the ground or landing a new job, that might happen fairly quickly for you. But if you're doing something in terms of investments or starting a business, even though the ball might be rolling and it might be, coming off the ground, the initial, in terms of investments or business, might be kind of small. So again, you want to be careful what you're putting down here. It's going to take time for it to build, but the changes are going to happen quickly, right? I feel some of you may be starting a business and within 6 to 8 months, it's going very well for you, well enough to where you're like, this is all I'm going to do. I'm going to be self-employed now. I'm taking the leap into self-employment. 6 to 8 months is nothing. It's nothing. If you're starting from zero, or if you haven't been working your business for a long time and it's like starting all over again, you might as well be. And so 6 to 8 months is nothing. From beginning to this is a functioning business, 6 to 8 months is nothing. And so in that way, it will be quick. But when you think about it, how much investment can you deal with for that 6 to 8 month period until that money's coming in at that level? Queen of Wands also tells me you might be having a lot of anger coming to the surface. You might be tempted to push it down, to ignore it, and to say, oh, well, I don't want to focus on being angry. I don't want to be negative. Everything happens for a reason. And there might be this toxic positivity where you convince yourself to push it down and to bury it. Queen of Wands says, embrace that anger. Use it as fuel for the fire to move you forward. Use it as fuel for the fire to move you forward. Anger is not toxic. It depends on what you do with it, right? It's like fire. You can use fire for destruction and to, burn down a house, right? And to do damage. Or you can use fire to sterilize tools and equipment. You could use fire to cook a meal. You could use fire to keep warm. You could use fire as protection to scare away like wild animals in the wilderness. Like, it has so many beneficial, constructive uses, but it also has destructive uses. In itself, it's not a negative thing, and it's the same with anger. It's how we use it, what we do with it. But don't be afraid of your anger or ashamed of your anger. Use it to create, use it to build. Okay? The next card that's coming up here for Aries is the Prince of Swords. Now, the Prince of Swords is, in other words, going to be the Page of Swords. So the Page of Swords or the Prince of Swords can be a card about gathering information. Gathering information. And so a lot of you have this desire for this fresh start. And you may be wanting to, as I said, relocate or put some physical distance or leave a place or leave a situation and create this new foundation, this new business or a career change or something. And the Page of Swords is saying what you need to do is research. You need to gather the information. Sometimes the Page of Swords is even like reconnaissance work in terms of going to a place and checking it out. So you may need to go somewhere to check it out, to kind of get a feel for it, to get a vibe for it. Page of Swords also comes up for me in my readings sometimes when you're in a situation where your throat chakra is beginning to open up, it's beginning to clear. So don't be surprised, Aries, if some of you find yourself being a little bit more honest than usual or a little bit more vocal than usual. This might be kind of a side effect here of the throat chakra opening up and coming into the energy of telling your truth, speaking your truth, making your feelings known. And every time that you do, you're making a statement to the universe that your feelings matter and that you're not going to tolerate dealing with people or working with people who really don't care how you feel, right? You're like, nope, that's not acceptable. My feelings matter. And so you're creating a new contract, as it were, with yourself and with the universe here in that energy of speaking up, right? Your thoughts, your opinions, your feelings matter. The next card that's coming up here for you guys, I love it, is the Six of Swords. We talked about traveling and seeing a place. Six of Swords definitely aligns with that. Six of Swords can be taking a trip, right? But Six of Swords is also getting away from drama, getting away from that chaos, going somewhere where you can actually clear your head and think. And it can be taking a trip. And some of you have heard me say in the previous YouTube videos, Six of Swords over the years reading for people, one of the things I've noticed, it comes up a lot in my readings when you are taking a trip or you're thinking of taking a trip or being guided to take a trip, and you might have it in the back of your mind like, oh, well, maybe if I like it, then maybe in a year or two, maybe in a couple of years, I'll move out there. But what I've seen happen time and time again, it's like you go on this trip and then all of a sudden, boom, 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 pow, 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 things align out of nowhere, things line up, and all of a sudden you're relocating. And something that you thought you were going to do way down the line is happening a lot quicker, is happening a lot faster. And so there could be where some of you are thinking and feeling guided that you want to put some physical distance between you and a place or a situation. You may be taking time off from work. You may be going to visit a friend or a family member in a town that's far away or in a different state. For some of you, maybe even in a different country. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, why don't you just stay here? And you're like, yeah, why don't I just stay here? Don't be surprised if you end up, calling and being like, oh, I'm not coming back. That could happen for some of you. Because I've seen that happen time and time again with the Six of Swords. Or you're going back, but you're going back very briefly to tie up the loose ends and get your matters and things handled so that you can just get your stuff and go and make this move. But I've seen it happen time and time again with the Six of Swords where you're traveling or visiting someplace and you end up relocating there. So a lot of peacefulness here, a lot of soothing energy, a lot of calm energy, a lot of just smooth sailing. These are very positive cards. You might want to check out your moon sign and rising sign videos. Some weeks that might add a little more information for you. It might resonate more for you than your sun sign. That can happen at times too. Love and romance readings for February are linked in the description of the video. If you'd like to schedule a private reading with me, you can schedule at calendly.com/amethystangelite. One more thing, as you guys notice, this is for a longer period of time, this video, because I am so behind on posting the weekly. So I'm hoping if I do for a longer period of time, then I can catch up here and get the following week from the 14th on, you know, posted a little bit earlier, a little bit ahead of time. And I did want to address that. I know a lot of you have noticed I'm inconsistent with my weekly posts. I have not done anything with the podcast. And I just want to let you guys know I've been battling with a lot and dealing with a lot on my end. I'm in the process of getting a diagnosis. I'm very close. I'm pretty sure I know what it is, but I don't want to say anything until I have that official diagnosis. And it'll be a good thing, because once I have that, I'm going to have a better idea of what I need to do for myself, like to be able to keep showing up for you guys the way that I want to be showing up. So, and I will share it with you guys, and I will tell you, you know, what's going on and share the details with you, because some of you might be going through a very similar experience, and you might be like, oh my gosh, Amethyst, that sounds like what I'm dealing with. And it might answer some questions for you, and you might go and you might get tested for something that never even crossed your mind or never even occurred to you. And you're like, wow, I'm so glad now I know, because now I know how to deal with it. Now I know how to, do well, despite the situation. So I will share it with you as soon as I have something official. And I thank you guys for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. I appreciate so much all of your love and support and patience. I'm wishing you all a wonderful next couple of weeks. I'll see you all in the weeklies. Take care and be well, my dear.